I need to talk about this right here. So yesterday's game was obviously funny. Yesterday's game was obviously crazy. But have you guys not seen the petition? The petition, lads. So if you guys didn't see, obviously, there is the Dallas Wings fan page. Take the All-Star game out of Indiana. I'm serious. This is about player safety. Dude, don't worry. Neither JC or Marine is making the All-Star team. Players will be safe.
A petition was just launched to ban a WNBA player for life. Her crime wasn't a dirty play or a cheap shot. It was loyalty. Phoenix Mercury's Sophie Cunningham saw her teammate get targeted, and she responded with the kind of raw, protective fire that fans have been begging to see. She stepped in, stood her ground, and refused to let her team be pushed around. But in the bizarre, upside-down world of the WNBA right now, that act of loyalty made her public enemy number one. This wasn't just an overreaction, it was a move that exposed a massive hypocrisy burning at the heart of the league. A hypocrisy directly tied to its biggest star, Caitlin Clark. This is how one player's courage triggered a digital witch hunt and revealed a league at war with itself.
We have had so far with Sophie Cunningham. She is standing on business. She's trending everywhere, and now she's retweeting all the drama. Sophie has simply made herself a star, which she was already famous, but at this point, she hella famous, super famous. She got parody accounts been made on her. Guys, this is lit.
The flashpoint ignited around Sophie Cunningham, a player whose reputation for fiery, no-nonsense basketball precedes her. She isn't the biggest star in the league, but she's known for playing with a chip on her shoulder, a relentless competitor who never backs down from a physical challenge. During a heated game, the tension that had been simmering finally boiled over. An opponent went after her teammate, and in that split second, Cunningham's protective instincts took over. She didn't hesitate. She didn't look to the refs. She stepped in immediately, not just to separate players, but to send a clear, undeniable message.
So lads, Sophie Cunningham, obviously a player for the Indiana Fever, who got into a little bit of trouble last night. And by trouble, I mean she took somebody down, and then when they tried to go at her, two of them went at her. She held one of them off with one hand while getting the other one in a Muay Thai hold, and looked like if this was an MMA fight, she would have started bringing the head down to the knee. Like, you better believe in a 2-on-1, I'm taking Sophie Cunningham over Lindsay Allen and JC Sheldon.
In a now infamous moment that spread like wildfire across social media, she held one player off with a single outstretched hand while getting the other in what fans hilariously and accurately described as a Muay Thai hold. She was an enforcer, a protector, embodying the raw, unfiltered loyalty that coaches dream of and teammates depend on. In that moment, she showed the entire league that on her team, you don't take cheap shots without consequences. But that single act of allegiance, that moment of pure instinct, was about to spark a digital firestorm that nobody saw coming.
The enforcer situation at the end of the Fever game last night, after the repugnant behavior of Marina Mabrey and JC Sheldon. And of course, Cunningham ended up getting the gate out of it. I've also got Stephanie White making comments about the refs. I give her credit for at least she went hard at the referees. And I wonder, will the WNBA fine this coach over that? I've got a feeling. They shouldn't. They better listen.
Almost immediately, the backlash began, but it didn't come from the league office, rival players, or even from respected analysts. It came from the dark corners of the internet where outrage is a currency and context is irrelevant. A petition surfaced online, and its demand was nothing short of staggering. Remove Sophie Cunningham from the WNBA. The language used was unhinged, as if she had committed a heinous crime instead of intervening in a scuffle. It accused her of repugnant behavior and demanded a lifetime ban. A lifetime ban for what exactly? For having her teammates back. It was like cancel culture met a hard foul and spawned the most dramatic, over-the-top offspring imaginable.
Cunningham retweets the petition on top of her jersey being sold out. I told you, man. I told y'all. Sophie Cunningham is from the Show Me State, bruh. She's standing on business. She's standing on business, and she wish you would. She wish you would. She probably find all of this entertaining that they is going all out of the way for this whole situation with Marina Marbury and JC Sheldon, bro.
Fans who typically stay silent when stars get body checked and targeted were suddenly demanding a player's entire career be torched over an act of defense. One keyboard warrior, seemingly auditioning for a role as a Shakespearean drama queen, declared there was no place in the game for what she did. The punishment didn't just fail to fit the crime, it wasn't even in the same universe. This wasn't a call for a fine or a suspension, this was a call for professional execution. And what happened next would expose the real hidden reason for the meltdown.
Sophie Cunningham's response to all this, in terms of her tweets, like, if you guys didn't see Sophie Cunningham's retweets, Sophie Cunningham obviously responded with the shrug Instagram post, but Sophie Cunningham also retweeted this. NBA fans have now made a petition to have Sophie Cunningham removed from the league. You can't make this up. I love how what's the petition on right now? What's the petition on? Because I know the petition only had like 100 signatures. But it is it's one of those things.
This was never just about Sophie Cunningham. Her situation became a lightning rod for a much bigger, more volatile issue brewing in the league, the Caitlin Clark effect. Since the moment Clark stepped onto a WNBA court, she's been treated less like a rookie phenom and more like a walking, talking target. She's been shoved from behind, hip checked to the floor, and hit with flagrant fouls that have left fans and analysts speechless. A constant drumbeat has been building online, with viewers screaming for Clark's teammates on the Indiana Fever to step up to protect their franchise-altering star who is single-handedly boosting ticket sales, ratings, and league revenue.
It's crazy that entire sentence just rolled out of my mouth, because the NFL officials are so bad that a lot of people think the game is rigged or scripted. By the way, I've seen that about the WNBA as of late too. Like, are the officials trying to navigate games in certain directions? We got to remember there's things like prop betting, and can we keep somebody, hey, I put $2,000 over on Caitlin Clark not being able to score 25 points tonight. The payoff on that is 10 grand.
The irony is suffocating. The very same fan base begging for an enforcer to stand up for Caitlin Clark was now trying to get a player on another team banned for doing exactly that. Cunningham's fiery defense of her own teammate became a terrifying preview of what might happen if someone actually did protect Clark with real force. It revealed a bizarre, unspoken rule taking shape in real time. You can say you want players to be protected, but if someone actually does the protecting with genuine fire and aggression, they become the new villain. The outrage wasn't about Cunningham's actions, it was displaced frustration and fear surrounding the league's biggest star.
There's actually a petition out there that they want to kick out Sophie Cunningham out of the league. Where was this petition at for Kennedy Carter? Where was this petition at with Dejanine Carrington? Where was this petition at with Alyssa Thomas when she chokeslammed Angel Reese? No, it falls on deaf ears, right? Because she defends Caitlin Clark, it's a problem. This league is so freaking petty and lame. That's why I call it the WNBA. There's so much envy and they're all green with this. It's embarrassing. And the fact that this person created this petition is embarrassing.
This entire incident exposed a hypocrisy machine running at full throttle, and its engine is fueled by selective outrage. The double standard wasn't just visible, it was blinding. The question everyone should be asking is simple. Where was this petition when Kennedy Carter delivered a cheap shot to Clark away from the ball? A move universally condemned as dirty. Where was the remove her forever energy when Alyssa Thomas, a notorious physical player, literally chokeslammed Angel Reese to the court in a move that looked more like something from a wrestling ring? In those moments, the outrage was muted, explained away as part of the game, or welcoming a rookie to the league. But when Sophie Cunningham showed the kind of fierce, unapologetic loyalty that the league supposedly values, the reaction was immediate and extreme. The only logical conclusion is that the outrage was never about player safety. It was about control. It was about who is allowed to be physical and who is not. The petition wasn't a call for justice. It was a weaponized complaint from a faction of fans who couldn't handle handle a player who refused to back down. This wasn't about misconduct, it was about a player daring to color outside their fragile little lines.
Definitely the W, especially if Sophie Cunningham is going to continue to fight people for messing with Caitlin Clark, because it feels like Caitlin Clark is going to get treated in a certain way in this league for a long time. She's not a rookie anymore. Okay? She's already proved herself. She's won. And then there were some, ladies last night that were trying to go a little physical. And in last year, I think something we noticed, and I think a lot of people noticed, is when Caitlin would get bullied, nobody would do nothing.
That's right.
Nobody would do nothing. It was like, hey, they didn't know, like, whoa, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe people are doing this to Caitlin Clark. Teammates weren't jumping in there. They bring in Sophie Cunningham. I had no idea. Sophie Cunningham was a black belt at the age of 6.
Yeah. Yep.
Boom!
Wow.
JC Sheldon, that's cute. You want to poke her in the eye, then push her into a boom Mabry thing? Go ahead. I'll take a take foul, and you'll eat the deck a little bit here. And then we'll get it. I love it.
So how did Sophie Cunningham, the new public enemy #1, respond to the online campaign designed to end her career? She laughed at it. In a world of carefully crafted PR statements and tearful apologies, her reaction was a masterclass in modern defiance. Instead of laying low or trying to explain herself, she leaned directly into the chaos. She went on social media and retweeted the news of the petition herself, adding nothing but a simple, dismissive shrug emoji. That one emoji spoke volumes. It said, "Is that all you've got?" It was a digital power move, showing the world she was unbothered and unintimidated. She wasn't just weathering the storm, she was harnessing its energy. As the digital mob sharpened their pitchforks, something incredible happened. Her jersey began selling out. She became an icon overnight for a different kind of fan, the kind who values loyalty over politeness and toughness over theatrics. She took their hate, their absurdity, and their ridiculous petition, and she turned it all into brand reinforcement. She was standing on business, and business was booming.
Every time Caitlin Clark takes the court, her opponents act like they've been booked for a main event brawl. The WNBA is doing nothing about it. Opponents aren't playing ball. They're strategically ambushing her. They're trying to injure her. Opponents bring chaos. She brings composure. And what Sophie did last night is completely valid. The WNBA has to do something about this.
In a stunning twist of poetic justice, the attempt to cancel Sophie Cunningham backfired in the most spectacular way possible. This is a classic case of the Streisand effect in action, the phenomenon where an attempt to hide, remove, or censor a piece of information has the unintended consequence of publicizing it more widely. By trying to suppress and erase her, the petitioners made her a household name. News outlets picked up the story, not to condemn her, but to highlight the absurdity of the petition and the hypocrisy behind it. Fans who had never even heard of Sophie Cunningham were now watching her highlights, buying her merchandise, and hailing her as a hero of loyalty. The petition, designed to make her a pariah, accidentally transformed her into a martyr and a powerful symbol of unwavering team allegiance. It was the ultimate self-own. The mob had tried to get her fired from her job, and instead they got her a promotion to one of the most talked about and respected players in the entire league.
This is the part right here, right? So I just hate to pause it. So this is the part of the press conference that was leaked last night.
And I don't know how JC and Lindsay they get ejected from the game when they did not do nothing. So for me, it's just disrespectful, to do this foul when you are winning the game by 17 points. Yeah, but she didn't do it on purpose. It was just, her defense. But I don't think that she did this on purpose. We can rewatch, the game and in line when I rewatch it. I know JC, she's not this person.
This whole fiasco pulls the curtain back on a league standing at a major crossroads. The WNBA is riding an unprecedented wave of popularity, largely thanks to the gravitational pull of Caitlin Clark, but it seems completely unprepared for the turbulence that comes with this level of mainstream attention. The league wants the sold-out arenas, the charter flights, and the primetime TV slots, but it flinches at the raw, unfiltered conflict that true sports rivalries create. This inconsistency has led to widespread fan speculation online about biased officiating or even rigged outcomes, not because people are natural conspiracy theorists, but because the league's inconsistent enforcement of its own rules is creating a vacuum of logic. Leadership seems frozen, unable to decide whether to embrace the drama that sells tickets or sanitize the product to appease the perpetually offended. They asked for fire, for passion, for players who capture the public's imagination. petition, and when Sophie Cunningham brought a blowtorch, they called the fire department. In the end, the petition to remove Sophie Cunningham gathered a few hundred signatures before fading into the digital graveyard of failed outrage campaigns. It was a loud but ultimately powerless temper tantrum, but the questions it raised are now impossible to ignore. Who really won here? It was Cunningham, who turned an attack into a badge of honor. It was every player who believes loyalty is non-negotiable, and it was every fan who is tired of performative outrage. The real story isn't about a petition, it's about a league grappling with its own identity in a new era of superstardom. Does it want players who are polished, quiet, and safe, or does it want warriors like Sophie Cunningham? The answer will define its future, because in the chaotic, passionate world of professional sports, you can't have the fire without the heat. The fans who demand protection for their stars are the same ones trying to cancel the protectors, and that is a contradiction the league can no longer afford to ignore.